time of great uncertainty, and a time of change that's taking place around the world, and a time when people are feeling a great deal of anxiety and reservations about the future, at a time when people are going to work and don't know whether or not they will have a job when they get off, and not necessarily because of their performance, but because of what's happening in the economy. At a time when there are challenges, more so than ever before, in personal relationships. We look at what's happening on the crime level and what's happening with our youth. That many times I'm sure that we've all taken time just to stop and reflect. Many times when we hear what's happening in the news or read the newspaper, where's all of this leading to? What's going on here?
When you are struggling with what to do, who you are, what's your next move, you are in an identity crisis. You are struggling with just who you are. See, you have not discovered who you are. You have to discover who you are in order to move you forward.
Because once you find that, it puts you in your power place.
You've got to get a proven plan, and you got to take massive action. Don't even worry about a proven plan. There are lots of role models. Hopefully they'll prove it to you, but get a plan. Do something. I tell people all the time, you just got to remember the power of massive action. So often in life, people don't begin the journey because they're not quite sure what to do or how to do it right or how to do it perfect. You want to change your body? Get yourself moving. Don't wait for the perfect trainer. Just go out there and move. Put on your shoes and move and get momentum. Just remember, progress equals happiness. If you can start to make progress, if you get yourself going, even though it's not perfect, if it doesn't work, you know what to do. Just change your approach. That doesn't work, change your approach. But if there's anything that'll shift your life, that'll get you to thrive in a difficult situation, is take some massive action. Try something else. Change it, try it, move it.
See, if you know what your life work is, I encourage you to start working on it. If you can't do it all at one time, do just a little bit of it. And if you don't know what it is that you showed up to do, if you don't know why you're here, I encourage you to find out what your purpose is here. What is the meaning of your life? And so I think that now more than ever, we must begin to look at what are the things that we can do that would put us on some firm footing in life, that will enable us to do some things and use some powers that we have, that many of us go through life never ever discovering that we have those things going for us. And part of that, I believe, is knowing what it is your life worth. What is it that gives your life a sense of meaning and purpose?
But ask yourself, if you could achieve one goal or resolve one problem, and remember, a problem unsolved is merely a goal unachieved, which one would it be?
Let your actions speak for you.
So take a deep inhale, stand up straight, lift your chin off your chest, pull your shoulders back, and start to look in the direction of where you want to go. Move that inch.
Let your results speak for you.
Developing a good plan for the next 10 years, especially some of the things you want to accomplish. Let our dreams pull us through, our objectives sustain us, get us up early, keep us up late, or drive us to do the disciplines, read the books, take the classes, study, whatever is necessary. If the dreams are strong enough and the purpose is strong enough, we will pay the price.
When you get to that state, creating results in your area of expertise is almost effortless. It's an organic process that comes easily to you.
Remember, the further you spiral down just means the more growth there is on the way back up, and the stronger you'll be.
And you're still waiting around for some kind of signal to finally go hard and give your dreams everything you got.
You've got to ask yourself, what's your why? What motivates you? What pushes you? What drives you? And if that thing is eternal, if nobody has to call you, if nobody has to prize you, if nobody has to reward you, if nobody has to give you anything, if you are self-motivated and self-regulated, you can have it, you can be it, you can do it.
You have to want something so big that it drives you to wake up when you don't want to. It keeps you up at night when you long been sleepy. It makes you show up, do things you wouldn't normally do. It requires action.
I don't know who this is for. I don't know what you've been through. I don't know how bad it hurt you. It hurt pretty bad. You survived, but something on the inside died in the process. And you're a shell of what you would have been, what you could have been, what you ought to have been, because life cost you so much.
Is knowing what is your life worth. What is it that gives your life a sense of meaning and purpose? Because once you find that, it puts you in your power place.
You have strength only few can understand, because most have never experienced. So don't give in. Don't settle. Don't lower your expectations to fit into the world.
Pain will change us. Heartache, loss, disappointments, they don't leave us the same. Every painful time, even though you don't like it, it's developing something in you that can only be developed in the tough time.
And the problem most of you never felt no pain before. You're spoiled. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year. But eventually, it will subside. And something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever.
Eventually, that will pass. You'll get through it, but you will be different.
You've got to want that pressure. You've got to want things to be hard. You can't seek out the easy life. You can't just hope and pray that you can uncover inside of you some talent that's laid dormant that you didn't know about that's going to let things be easy for you. Don't want the easy. Want the hard. Want the pressure. Want the thing that's going to turn you into something.
If you don't know exactly what you want, or you let yourself get beyond that into something general, you're not going to achieve it.
In those tough times, when you're uncomfortable, going through a loss, dealing with an illness, you could easily let it overwhelm you. Now, how the pain changes you is up to you.
As Daniel Pink said, people fail to achieve mastery not because they aren't talented, but because they aren't disciplined.
So you thought it was the end of the story. You thought that one single event, that one single moment was enough for him to stand amongst the great.
There's no difference between my humanness and your humanness. The only thing is, if you're trying to get there, you cannot stop believing in any way. No matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody tells you, you have to know it beyond knowing it. It is a feeling.
Well, you thought it was over. Well, it's just getting started. This is the part where you reinvent yourself.
When something is for you, this is how I knew it was for me. When something's for you, there's a feeling that is deep down inside of you that will not allow you to let it go. It will keep you going when you can't even keep yourself going, a place where even dreams believe. Because there comes a time in your life where you've worked and you've stressed and you tried to get there and you couldn't on your own, but you have a dream.
And that dream has to take on the belief for you because you can't do it by yourself.
You don't have to personally be perfect. Are you hearing me? There are those of you right now, you should have cut a CD. You should have wrote a book. You should have got in school and got that degree. You should have started your own business. There's so many things you should have done. You should have done, but you didn't do it because you're scared. You believe that you say scared of what? I ain't scared. You are scared. You are scared. You're scared of failure. You're scared to make a mistake. You're scared that you're not perfect. And I'm telling you today, you ain't got to be perfect. Are you hearing what I'm saying? You don't have to be perfect to get what you want, to do what you want, to have what you want, to be what you want. You don't have to be perfect. It's a lie. You don't have to be perfect, but what you have to do is perfect the day. That's what I want you to do. You'll never be perfect. As long as you're alive, there's always progress. You can always get better. But listen to me. I want you to practice perfecting the 24-hour. You hear me? 60 minutes in a day. 1,440 seconds. That's what I want you to concentrate on. I want you to concentrate on it now.
Don't stop. Narrow your focus to one idea, and make it work. That will give birth to all the others.
Learn how to just see those thoughts go by. Learn how to be entertained by those thoughts. Because I have crazy thoughts, but what I've gotten good at is going, look at that crazy thought. That's not me. That's the mind, not your mind. Because if it's you, how do you change you? Pretty hard. But I really, truly know I haven't heard a thought come out of you that's original. You've called them your thoughts, but they're not. You've stolen them. They've been around forever. And letting go of those thoughts is one of the ways that you free yourself. And again, the more you do it, just like a muscle, you get better and better and better. And all of a sudden, this used to make you crazy or stressed out. I'm like, how many things have you worried about that never came to be? And some people, their life is good, so they worry about other people, so they're never not worried, right? So it's really just a pattern. If you want wealth, real wealth is not just money, it's emotion. That's like, what are we really after in money? You don't want money. You don't want pieces of paper with the pictures of deceased notables on it. What do you think money will give you? You think it'll give you freedom or security or stability or love? It won't give you love. It'll get you sex. It won't get you love. Money won't, right? So really what you're after is the emotion. And so what I want people to get is the emotion they want now. And all it is a new habit. It's learning to discipline this mind, right? By realizing the mind thoughts are out there and letting them float by and constantly coming back to what can I love about this? What can I appreciate? It's like, if you can learn to love or at least appreciate, start to enjoy the things that you used to get upset about, how much freedom would you have?
You go after and you give it all you have. If you lose, at least you try, man. I fail. It's 10 times more of a man than someone says what if. Because what if never went to the arena. That's called courage. Now that's the stuff leaders should be made of. Think something's wrong, maybe it's time to stop. No, it's time to move free and further. Mentally, you must believe it before you physically start.
And here's what I want to say to you. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. No one could have convinced me by holding on, by continuing to push forward, by continuing to run toward my dream, that one day I would have my own talk show. It's a long shot, ladies and gentlemen, from Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor, never knowing my mother or father. It's a long shot. Being here with you today in this dome in Atlanta, it's a long shot. No college training, labeled educable, mentally retarded, but I kept running toward my dream.
This is your beginning, but this doesn't have to be your end.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop running toward your dream.
You can't do nothing without faith.
All you need now is a little imagination. And your imagination, guys, whether you want to believe it or not, is a preview of what life's common attractions. We can't imagine what it's going to be. Don't ever expect physically to look at the news.
We all fall down in life. The question is, who gets back up?
given them everything.
Not everything. Not yet. If you make yourself more than just a man, if you devote yourself to an ideal, they can't stop you.
As Friedrich Nietzsche said, many are stubborn in pursuit of the path they have chosen, few in pursuit of the goal.
I think if you succeed, every mistakes become legendary. If you fail, that's just garbage.
Whatever happened, whatever you're going through, use it. Use it to develop yourself. Use it to grow into a stronger human being. Use it to help others who may be going through something equally as challenging.
When you wake up in the morning, look at your goals. Your goals won't tell you what time to get up. Are you hearing me? Your goals won't tell you who you should be hanging out with. I can't tell you, but your goals will tell you how much sleep do you need. You might not need to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning for your goals, but your goals are going to define what time you get up, how you live your life, how you move, when you say yes, when you say no.
Exercise your willpower. Change direction. Set some higher goals. Reach for some higher purpose.
You can't just say you want it. You can't watch the video and say, I want it as bad as I want to be. It's cute to say it. But when it's showtime, when the sun comes up, you got all the books, you got all the tapes, you got all the access. Now it's time to hunt. And what separates you from everybody else is that when it's time to hunt, you're ready to hunt.
What are your assets? What are your strong points? Look at and evaluating yourself to make that determination. Understanding and knowing that we can move from where we are. That we can begin to design the kind of life that empowers us, that gives us happiness, that enable us to be on top of who we are.
Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. Do you want to cross the bridge between continuity, other to change, and success? Discipline.
You're waiting on your next door neighbor to make it happen for you. It may not happen. If you're waiting on your mother or your father, they may be so ancient in their thinking that they don't understand this opportunity that you have. And if you're waiting on them, it may never get done. You don't beg average people to be phenomenal. You don't beg good people to be phenomenal. You just are phenomenal, and you will attract phenomenal.
It's hard, but it's worth fighting. It's worth believing. It's worth mustering yourself up, standing up inside yourself. It's worth fighting relentlessly, never giving up.
The reason is fear. And the fear is usually fear of failure or success or rejection. But the real word I would use for this thing we're afraid of is pain.
So now is the time to do that. So I would encourage you to take risks now. Do something bold. You won't regret it.
At the end of the day, a path is an option. It's one of the ways forward, but it's the thing that you're doing right now today. So people get really focused on that. They make their happiness built around that. They think about that as the thing. But as the old saying goes, don't confuse the finger with the moon that it's pointing at.
Go for something beyond what you thought you could do. Face all your fears. That's how you conquer them. Say, here's what I'm afraid of. I wonder what I could do to change that.
And to ultimately become an improved person. Cross the bridge. Fight each day for the success you've been waiting for.
But I had to develop something
to become a man. So I had very low self-esteem coming up. You know, no one was ever there to teach me the ways of a man. And all I wanted to be was a man. So I developed Goggins. It's a person that doesn't care what you say about him. It's a person that doesn't care about how he feels or how he acts or anything. It's something I developed to get through my childhood, to get past the image in the mirror. You know, my reflection in the mirror was such a horrible one. I wasn't proud of myself. And the only way I could become the man I wanted to become is I had to face the fears, and I was afraid of everything. So through facing all these fears, I started really empowering myself to realize that I can do so much more. You know, people call it mental toughness. Motivation is not enough. I changed motivation into passion. Motivation is crap. Motivation comes and it goes. Like if it's cold outside and people get a blast at minus 10 degree air, they're going to walk their ass back inside. That's motivation. Motivation comes and goes. If you're happy, you're motivated. If you're sad, you're not. I wanted to become a person that was driven. And when you're driven, you don't give a damn. You don't care if your best friend gets shot in the head, you still have a job to do. If you don't get poopy pants and fall into that woe is me, you continue moving forward. And through my life, I found passion. And when you find passion, you almost cannot describe to people what the hell I'm trying to describe right now because it's over their head. It's those who never really started their journey. You know, they may have kids and they may have, they may have had a great life. And what I mean by never started their journey is most of us walk around in fear.
Right.
And,
absolutely.
And we're scared to death. We're scared to death. So we pick a different route. And when you pick a different route because you're afraid, you never start the journey that God put you on. The journey is not supposed to be the journey of fun.
No.
And most of us take that right turn because you're like, oh man, I'm scared to jump from an airplane, so I'm not going to be a Navy SEAL. I'm going to go be in finance. That's not the journey. The journey starts when you look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not who I need to be. I need to overcome these fears. And that's when your journey begins. So most people die thinking they had a great life. They never started their journey. If I would have stayed in my same scared kid that I was, I would be here right now probably spraying for cockroaches at 41 years old, never knowing I could have been an ultra runner, could have been a Navy SEAL, could have been an Army Ranger, could have been an Air Force tactical air. I did all these things because I started my journey. Most people have no idea what they're capable of because they're so afraid to start their journey and they die not knowing. I wasn't doing enough to fulfill my journey. Basically that's when I can rest. And I was sitting around and I'm always going to find something to push my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit. I want to find something that makes me think about quitting. Because that's when you know who you are. You don't know who you are when you're watching a game or whatever. You got to put yourself into a 200-mile race, and at 100 miles, when you're exhausted and you're through and you're dehydrated, you have 100 miles left, and you have all kinds of decisions to make. You can decide to quit. That's when you know who you truly are, when you're at the final breath you think you have, and you have 100 miles to go. And you think you have nothing left, and all your body's saying is quit. I know one thing. When I started this whole journey, trying to be a SEAL and all this other stuff I've been trying to become, I just wanted to be proud of who I am as a man, and that's what I am now. So that's all. That's all it was. I was strict with self-esteem at a young age, and I had to build it up on my own. No one was going to give it to me.
Perfect.
And I gave it to myself. No one's going to give you self-esteem. You have to find it. And I don't care what your job, I don't care if it's going through buzz, I don't care if it's going through running races, I don't care if it's going to college. Whatever your journey is, whatever it is, you got to start it by not being afraid. And you have to gain pride. And now at 41 years old, I'm not ashamed of the image in the mirror. I have a lot of pride. I want to die tired. I want to die fulfilled. You know, I want to be in my casket and I want to look up to the heavens and say, man, I'm kind of glad this is over, man, because I was going to keep on pushing until this happens.
Almost any accomplishment in the history of the world has come at the hands of people who've taken risks. People who are willing to push the envelope. People who are willing to explore the unknown. You know, the key thing about taking risks is learning. You know, and if something doesn't work out, learn from it. And then you're able to move further.
Falling isn't permanent.
See, that's what life is. See, you've got to be willing to give it all up. It's the only way that you can grow, you've got to risk. The only way that you can become your best, you have got to risk.
If you play it safe, that makes you stupid. Because if you don't take risks, you don't get smart. You know, so you may know the answer, but you can't do anything. Because if you're going to be successful, you've got to take some risks. And when you take a risk, you make a mistake, and you might learn something. You're supposed to learn from a mistake.
Don't look for any gains where there's been no sacrifice. Don't wake up and look for no gain. Don't look for your game to improve. Don't look for the record to improve. Without sacrifice, there are no gains. Sacrifice leads, and gains follow.
You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail 10 times, 100 times, maybe even 1,000 times.
But that's okay. Failure isn't permanent.
You get right back up and keep going. And this time, you're gonna be stronger, wiser, and you'll be more driven than ever. And for every 10 failures, you'll land one success. You have to love success so much that you're willing to fail 10 times before you can succeed once. That's how a winner does it.
Challenge your fears. Challenge them. Look those fears in the face and take them on.
I dare you to take a little pain. I dare you. I dare you not to go home. Somebody said, I don't go home, I feel bad. Go through it. You ain't gonna die. At the end of pain is success.
You've got to be willing to risk. If you're not willing to risk, you can't grow in life. Life has no power when you're not willing to risk it. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, is nothing. And you want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go.
Just do it. Just pick up a camera and start shooting something. Don't wait to be asked, because nobody's going to ask you. And don't wait for the perfect conditions, because they'll never be perfect. It's a little bit like having a child. If you wait until the right time to have a child, you'll die childless. And I think filmmaking is very much the same thing. You just have to take the plunge and just start shooting something. Even if it's bad, you can always hide it.
People want to know how to stop the laziness, and they want to know how to stop the procrastination. And they have some idea in their head, some kind of a vision of what they want to do, but they don't know where to start. They don't know where to start it. They don't know where to start.
Don't be so hard on yourself. As long as you have the right mindset and the right intent, you can learn from that and build from that and continue to push forward and move on.
To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
Listen, you got to fight back. You don't get in life what you want, you get what you fight for.
But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs.
When you decide that my future, my health, my marriage, my freedom, my happiness, my joy, my peace, my children is worth fighting for, you are securing your breakthrough. I want to encourage you right now, don't give in, go for it. Don't give up, don't throw in the towel.
fall forward.
Nothing, absolutely nothing is impossible.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is.
I will persist until I succeed. I am a lion and I refuse to talk, to walk, to sleep with sheep. I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I will not hear those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Let them join the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. The prizes of life are at the end of each journey, not near the beginning. And it is not given to me to know how many steps are necessary in order to reach my goal. Failure I may still encounter at the 1000th step, yet success hides behind the next bend in the road. Never will I know how close it lies unless I turn the corner. Always will I take another step. If that is no avail, I will take another, and yet another. In truth, one step at a time is not too difficult.
When you know within yourself that there's something you want to do, and I believe that all of us were born with a purpose, that all of us have something that we are supposed to do, that all of us have some goodness within us, and that goodness gives us a responsibility to manifest our greatness. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe.
I will persist until I succeed.
If you guys tune into who you really are, which is an absolutely free entity that loves learning and having fun and being around other people and learning, if you're really connected with that child self, which is all about having fucking fun, you would all quit the system. You guys have to put yourselves first in life, always, because nobody else is going to put your happiness first. Nobody, ever. But that's the disease we've got. We're hoping someone will lead us to happiness. There's two types of human beings. One of them goes for what he wants and moves towards his goal and his objection and moves towards becoming himself, becoming a man, becoming authentic, becoming more honest, becoming a better person. Every day he's moving towards becoming amazing. The second type of person, he's not. That's it. Which are you?
Every single day when you wake up, you better be spending time on your dreams. You better be spending time on your, you ain't got time to waste. It is a sense of urgency. Once you make a decision and you go all in and you say, I ain't quitting till I get there. I ain't giving up. I ain't giving in. I will do whatever it takes to be successful. And when you make that decision, when you look you in the mirror, when you tell yourself that, look, I'm through. I'll do whatever it takes. I guarantee you, that's the day begins to happen. And the problem with some of y'all is you want somebody else to support your dream. It's yours. I don't owe you a dime. It's your dream. If you wanted to have it, get your butt up and make it happen. If you wanted to have it, rise and grind.
That if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after this thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want.
And that's when life is just playing a game with you. I don't want to play anymore.
It's not your circumstances or your situation that determines if you're going to be successful or not. I've been telling you, it's your mindset. It's the way you see it. It's the way you think it. Once you make a decision and you go all in and you say, I ain't quitting till I get there. I ain't giving up. I ain't giving in. I will do whatever it takes to be successful. And when you make that decision, when you look you in the mirror, when you tell yourself that, look, I'm through. I'll do whatever it takes. I get it. That's the day begins to happen. Don't count the cost. You don't count the cost on this one. You don't count how many breaths you take. You don't count it. You get to a point where you don't count it. You just do whatever it takes to get whatever you want.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. The water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
In a time of great uncertainty, and a time of change that's taking place around the world, and a time when people are feeling a great deal of anxiety and reservations about the future, at a time when people are going to work and don't know whether or not they will have a job when they get off, and not necessarily because of their performance, but because of what's happening in the economy. At a time when there are challenges, more so than ever before, in personal relationships. We look at what's happening on the crime level and what's happening with our youth. That many times I'm sure that we've all taken time just to stop and reflect. Many times when we hear what's happening in the news or read the newspaper, where's all of this leading to? What's going on here?
When you are struggling with what to do, who you are, what's your next move, you are in an identity crisis. You are struggling with just who you are. See, you have not discovered who you are. You have to discover who you are in order to move you forward.
Because once you find that, it puts you in your power place.
You've got to get a proven plan and you got to take massive action. Don't even worry about a proven plan. There are lots of role models. Hopefully they'll prove it to you, but get a plan. Do something. I tell people all the time, you just got to remember the power of massive action. So often in life, people don't begin the journey because they're not quite sure what to do or how to do it right or how to do it perfect. You want to change your body? Get yourself moving. Don't wait for the perfect trainer. Just go out there and move. Put on your shoes and move it. Get momentum. Just remember, progress equals happiness. If you can start to make progress, if you get yourself going, even if it's not perfect, if it doesn't work, you know what to do. Just change your approach. If that doesn't work, change your approach. But if there's anything that'll shift your life, that'll get you to thrive in a difficult situation, is take some massive action. Try something else. Change it, try it, move it.
See, if you know what your life work is, I encourage you to start working on it. If you can't do it all at one time, do just a little bit of it. And if you don't know what it is that you showed up to do, if you don't know why you're here, I encourage you to find out what your purpose is here. What is the meaning of your life? And so I think that now more than ever, we must begin to look at what are the things that we can do that would put us on some firm footing in life, that will enable us to do some things and use some powers that we have, that many of us go through life never ever discovering that we have those things going for us. And part of that, I believe, is knowing what it is your life worth. What is it that gives your life a sense of meaning and purpose?
But ask yourself, if you could achieve one goal or resolve one problem, and remember, a problem unsolved is merely a goal unachieved, which one would it be?
Let your actions speak for you.
So take a deep inhale, stand up straight, lift your chin off your chest, pull your shoulders back, and start to look in the direction of where you want to go. Move that inch.
Let your results speak for you.
Developing a good plan for the next 10 years, especially. Some of the things you want to accomplish. Let our dreams pull us through. Our objectives sustain us, get us up early, keep us up late, or drive us to do the disciplines, read the books, take the classes, study, whatever is necessary. If the dreams are strong enough and the purpose is strong enough, we will pay the price.
When you get to that state, creating results in your area of expertise is almost effortless. It's an organic process that comes easily to you.
Remember, the further you spiral down just means the more growth there is on the way back up and the stronger you'll be.
And you're still waiting around for some kind of signal to finally go hard and give your dreams everything you got.
You've got to ask yourself, what's your why? What motivates you? What pushes you? What drives you? And if that thing is internal, if nobody has to call you, if nobody has to prize you, if nobody has to reward you, if nobody has to give you anything, if you are self-motivated and self-regulated, you can have it, you can be it, you can do it.
Every day I'm prepared for what's ahead of me. There's no elevator.
As Les Brown says, other people's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. The truth is, all of us, we get to decide who we are. There's no objective truth that you're going to find or uncover. You're simply the collection of the things that you believe to be true about yourself. And once you begin to form that opinion of who you are, you'll act in accordance with that belief. You begin to shape a vision of yourself in your own mind, and that becomes the reality, a vision of the person that you want to become.
You just have to wake up. You just have to break that negative spill. You have to break through. I don't feel sorry for you. You feel sorry for yourself. That's the problem. We have a responsibility to walk in the direction of peace. I want to laugh. I want to smile. I want to enjoy myself. You decided that this is what you wanted to do with your day.
And the moment that we understand that, and every day we wake up, we understand that life is a blessing and life is a gift. And if you were to check out today, how would you want to be remembered? It's bigger than you. And the problem with the world today, people get involved with things, and if they don't like a certain person, if they don't like the process, if it's not what they thought it was, they quit. And what they don't understand about quitting becomes a habit. It's about, can you take pride in what you do as an individual, and every night when you look in the mirror, knowing that you gave everything you had to it. That is why I tell you the process is more important than the product. Impose your will on it.
If you want to be great, you can be misunderstood by everybody. When you are misunderstood to the point where fucking people think you're psycho and you're nuts and you're this and that, when people don't understand you anymore, you're in that spot of obsession and drive.
Now, in order to get the greatest opportunity, you got to fight the greatest resistance. What are you going to fight it with? You're going to fight it with the greatest focus. Some things are too much for you. Don't let your ego drive you out of focus. Life is just doing what life does. It's not a demonic attack. It's not spiritual warfare. Life is just doing what life does. It gives and it takes. It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. It has moments of victory and it has moments of defeat. Because it gives us a realistic view of people who were good and bad, who were strong and weak, who were right and wrong, who were victorious and victimized. It helps us to assess our own life, that your life is not going to be a straight line.
You can do anything you want that you have passion for, because that eliminates most of the crap. Because most people don't follow their dream. You know, like they say in The Sound of Music, you can't have a dream come true unless you have a dream. Practice within when you're without. Practice being successful. So it's all possible.
You have to have thick skin to get better. You have to call yourself out. This is a lifestyle. Can't temporarily dive into it, sample it out, and roll out. This is something, man, that you have to acquire as part of your everyday grind.
You don't belong at the bottom, and it's time for you to get your butt from down there. Listen to me, unless you number one in your industry, you shouldn't be chilling. And if you number one in your industry, you got enough common sense to know you better not be chilling. Every single day of my life, I feel like giving 100%. Every single day. I don't know, but I don't have days where I don't feel like it. Why? Because I'm counting on me.
The fact is that most of us in our culture define who we are and how well we're doing, and even our very humanity, on the basis of some very artificial criteria.
The greatest resistance comes when you are near the greatest opportunity.
If you go where you've never gone, do what you've never done, and say what you never said, you'll become the woman and the man you've always known yourself to be.
Look at yourself, man. Look at yourself. What am I going to do today to change what I see in this mirror? I'm trying to find more of myself. And the only way I can find more is to silence the world out as much as I can, because it's getting busier every day. It's getting faster. I put my phone away and I go dark. I go dark a lot, and it's because I have to find out. I'm on a journey of life, and we all have a different journey.
Be the hero of your own movie. If your life was a movie and it started now, what would the hero of your life's movie do right now?
That dreamer mentality just would always fuel me. It would just fuel me, man. What if I can be a SEAL, man? Now I run 205 miles. What if I can go? What if I can go? And what if? How would that feel? You have to go into those dark chambers that we often shut off, and you got to open them up. But going through this path of life, this journey over here that you make yourself, that's incredibly difficult, and we're afraid. It's easier to accept the fact that I'm just not good enough. You have to go into those dark chambers that we often shut off, and you got to open them up. Fail, and you're going to be in your head. You're going to be saying, I'm not good enough. And it's how you get through that. It's how you get through that on a daily basis, when that thing is saying, man, I'm 43, I've done so much. You start to become civilized. The refrigerator gets full. You start making money, and you start, I'm not getting cold anymore. I'm retired. At 40, people shouldn't be playing basketball or football. Or at 43, I'm still putting 100-mile weeks, still doing thousands of pull-ups, thousands of push-ups, because I'm not allowing myself to become civilized. The worst thing that can happen to a man is become civilized. You want to be uncommon amongst uncommon people. Period. You start putting yourself in situations that suck, you'll find yourself. I'm big on being with yourself. I want to be forever proud of who I was as a man and change who I used to be. The liar, the insecure guy, the guy who can, whatever. I want to be proud. If I die now, if I die at 8, if I die at 90, 100, I'm going to look at myself and say, I'm proud of myself. I believe in patience. I'm a patient dude. I can watch a piece of grass grow for 20 years because I know that it's how you get somewhere in life. By being that monk-like mentality.
We define ourselves far too often by our past failures. We look at our past and we say, well, that's me. That's not you. You are this person right now. You're the person who's learned from those failures. And you can choose to be the hero of your own movie right now. Write down your goals. Write down things you want to improve. Write down things you won't tolerate from yourself. Write down things you've done in the past you never want to see yourself do again. And go forth from here as the hero of your own movie.
Look, no one's ever gonna call you and tell you how incredible your idea is. You can't build a business on potential or win a championship on promise. Results are binary.
You change your belief, you change your life.
I found peace on the opposite end of finding myself, and no one really finds themselves without going through trials, tribulations, suffering, accountability. And accountability is suffering. Being accountable every day for doing right for yourself, for the people next to you, it's miserable. It's hard. So, even the smallest details. And if you can get through these different barriers and gain 5%, 2%, 3%, that 40% becomes 60. That 60% becomes 70, 80, and 90. And then you'll hopefully one day near 100.
There are a few things you just can't learn from a textbook. That you have to live through, to see, to be fully entrenched in. Because here is a simple truth. This world is a tough place. Getting what you want, making the most of the time you have, requires that you put yourself in a position to succeed. It means you see a finish line before one exists.